Thank you for joining us on Sheridan County Ag Update. Today I have with me John Graves from the Sheridan Community Land Trust. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Heartland Kubota and Truebuilt Builders. John, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. We're kind of making this a everyday thing almost,
right?
But there's lots going on with Sheridan Community Land Trust.
We never stop.
I was going to say, you always seem busy every time I see you.
We are. We're doing so many cool things, new things, different things, and more to come. So it's gonna be a great 2026 for us, for sure.
Well, good. Well, let's just dive right in.
We have 3 new properties that we now own. Thanks to some generous donations by Don Roberts, the Land Trust now owns 3 different properties. Most people know about our Big Goose natural area. That's where our offices are, out on Big Goose Road. We've recently opened it up permanently to off-dog trail users. It's been a great success. The people have been having so much fun bringing their dogs out there. It's been great, but we're also still grazing that with our grazing lessee out there. So we've had the cattle out there, which has been fantastic. We're really working hard on improving the habitat for grazing livestock, but also for wildlife out there. We have a big project coming up. We're kind of halfway through it. It's like year 2 of 5 years on the whole project. But creek bank stabilization, talked about a little bit before. This coming year, we're going to be doing a lot of willow planting and cottonwood planting. We are really hoping to develop the habitat along the creek for more trout and more fishing.
That's a question I always get asked when somebody comes to our house. Is there fish in the creek? I'm like, well, sometimes.
Yep.
It depends on where you're at, but yes, there are some, but they're not great big ones.
Yeah.
They're smaller ones, but they are there, but not like they should be.
Right. Right now, our fishing rules on our property that we have open to the public is no bait, barbless, and catch and release only. People have found some pretty good sized fish out there. I'm not a fisherman, but I've seen the pictures and there's some good fish. We are actually starting to work with Wyoming Fish and Wildlife to maybe start stocking that area and open it up to more fishing.
Oh, wow.
More to come on that. We're really, really excited. But one thing we are kind of finalizing right now is we're going to be opening up that property to hunting.
Okay.
Specifically, again, we're working with Fish and Wildlife, but it's going to be a hunter management area. More details to come, but coming this next hunting season, we're going to be opening it up to hunting in kind of the area that's mostly used for grazing, not where the trails are, where the people are out there each and every day, but kind of the back 80 as we call it. We're really excited about that. We'll see what that holds. And, if this first year of allowing hunting on that property works out, we're going to open up hunting on our other properties as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're excited for that. We've had some news releases about our other properties. One of them, it's where the Soldier Ridge Trail is. We call that now the Ridgetop Natural Area. It's 476 acres. We are going to focus on agriculture on that property. Really heavily focus on it.
And I think that used to be part of, if I remember correctly, part of the old PK Heights.
I think so.
What us old ranchers around here would have called the old PK Heights area.
Yeah. So that one was donated to us. The ownership of it was donated to us by Don Roberts. We're very thankful for his generosity and his trust in the land trust to manage it. We're still going to graze it for cattle. It's a great area for cattle. But we're still going to have that trail for on-trail use only for the public to continue to hike and walk and enjoy the area. Jared Koenig is in charge of our recreation stuff. He's got a lot of things planned for out there. We're working through all the brainstorming activities that we're doing. So it's going to be really cool to see what happens this coming year. We are going to be working with NRCS to really hammer down that area, make sure we're doing everything properly. We're grazing it efficiently, and we're improving that habitat. That's what we're all about. And so much of what we do is education. So with the projects we do on all of our property, we like to show people what we did and explain how they can do it on their ranches. And so it might help them improve their forage, improve their stocking rate, whatever it might be. We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our third property that we now own, again, thanks to Don Roberts, is just down the hill from that Soldier Ridge Trail that people are used to. It's where the Hidden Hoot Trail is. And we're calling that the Gillespie Draw Natural Area because that's Gillespie Draw that runs right through it. It will still be used for agriculture, grazing. We're excited for that. But we're really going to be focused on recreation in that area. So many people recreate, ride their bikes, walk. But there's still going to be an agricultural component to that property, which we're excited to keep doing going forward. So a lot happening. We're so excited to own all this acreage now and that we've been entrusted to ensure that it remains a productive agriculture properties all across the board. So we're excited. We've been busy, but those are the 3 properties that we've been working on, and it's just great. There's so much to come with that.
Well, the Roberts family, Dawn's parents, Dawn and Ermel, I knew them. They were neighbors of us behind, which used to be the PK Heights behind us as well. That's now subdivision. But such a great family, have been a long-term family, and have really always the vision of Sheridan County and how they can help develop it and grow it. And like you said, make it useful, but make it so people enjoy it as well.
Absolutely. They've been fortunate to own all that land, and they are developing some of it for housing, but they've set so many acres aside to keep that scenic view, the open space, the grazing lands available. It's just great.
Not making any more land. So what we've got to take care of.
That's right.
Quality Kubota machinery and customer care from the heart. Proudly serving Sheridan and the surrounding areas since 1996. Go online to heartlandkubota.com or stop by Heartland Kubota, 2450 Heartland Drive.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the housing, I know that we talked, and there's always lots of gossip and lots of rumors. But if you're out on Big Goose, if you live out there, or if you go out there, you have seen probably that hayfield is having some work done. That's not you guys. That's Bridges.
That's Bridges.
But let's just touch on that a little bit because of the rumor mill.
Yeah. They have great plans for that whole property. They bought all that NSI property that was out there. From them, we got a very generous rate and offer to buy 117 acres, which is what Big Goose Natural Area is. We bought it from Bridges. The rest of the property, some of it, they have worked with us. So we built trails on some of their property. They are now what all the dirt work is that everybody sees. They're not building homes. They are moving the current road. They're going to make it better, make it wider, increase parking, increase safety, make it a little more pretty. So it's not just a straight road with gets blown over with snow in the wintertime and it's bumpy and rough.
Yeah.
They're going to do a lot of work to really change that area so it looks better. There was a news story that went out recently, and they kind of explained a lot of what they're doing, but some of the highlights for the lacrosse team here in town, they're going to be redoing that stadium that's there, turning that into a multi-use turf field. So the lacrosse team will use it, plus a lot of other people will be able to use it as well. They're building a grass field out there for people to use for sporting events. They're changing the parking lot, moving the parking lot, making it bigger. And just overall, they're making it a better usable space for the community. We get to work with them, specifically Jared, for recreation, building all the trails around that area. Jared's super excited about it. All the trails that are on the Bridges property connecting to our trails on Big Goose. And then they'll feed back up in the gymnasium that Bridges has already finished. So it's just going to be a whole complex out there, just that natural area of ours and these amenities for the public to use. It's going to be great.
Well, perfect. Well, now that we got that cleared up, and if you do check out the news story, I know it was on Sheridan Media because I did see something here a couple days ago, but check it out. So no more houses in that area. It's just going to be a redo and expansion and make it better. Again, more use for the public.
That's right. Yep. For the community.
Yes. So last time you were here, we talked a little bit about the virtual fencing. And you guys were getting ready to have a demonstration and a meeting about it. How did that go?
Fantastic. Since we spoke, just a few short months ago, we've actually had 2 events about it. We had one out at Big Goose Natural Area because we have a virtual fence tower that we installed on our property.
Okay.
And our grazing lessee has virtual fence collars on his cattle out there as well. His use of virtual fencing on our property was amazing. It instantly opened it up to have him be out there longer because of how much grass was available and because of how he managed it for a little bit more intensive grazing, but then longer rest, right? I know this year was kind of an exception. We all had great grass. It was a great year for it, but for the most part, I'm contributing it to his use of virtual fencing and how he managed his herd and made small pastures and then moved them to fresh grass continuously throughout the summer. It was great. The big event we just kind of co-helped plan was over in Gillette. We had about, it was over 150 producers come out from all over, some people from Montana, from Sheridan County, Johnson County, all over to learn about virtual fencing. It was so cool to see. The four main technology providers were there to answer questions and just talk to people and explain it more and more. I really think we are now at a point with this virtual fencing technology where costs are coming down, and the technology has been proven to work. It's been proven to help the bottom line of ranchers to increase their stocking density, to help them save on fencing expenses. So the numbers are there. It pencils out for the producer. And so we're now seeing more people just jump in, go. Right now, we are working with the Forest Service to figure out how to get this technology deployed up on the mountain on those grazing allotments. We think we figured it out. There's a lot of forms and paperwork and permits.
I'm sure.
It's public land.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is great. We're working with one producer, and deploying this technology for their grazing allotments up in the mountain might save 15 miles of fence from having to be rebuilt. It was burnt down in the elk fire.
And that's a huge expense.
Huge expense. This producer, they would rather not build that fence, right? Yes, they don't have to pay for the materials, but they have to provide labor for it. So if they don't have to build 15 miles of fence up on the mountain in that rocky terrain, boy, what are they going to do with their free time? Something else, because they're busy, they're hard workers.
Right.
But that saves them so much time. Now, that's an extreme example, but it's an example, and other ranchers face that too.
Well, and also as you consider, I think sometimes ranchers get a bad name that I don't think people realize that what stewards of the land and the wildlife they truly are. Because no matter where you're at as a rancher, you're going to have some kind of wildlife, from the antelope, the deer, waterfowl, whatever. They don't want to see them hurt, hung up in a fence any more than anybody else does. So imagine that's 15 miles of more open space that you don't have to worry about wildlife being injured, and you still can keep your cattle where they need to be.
Absolutely. It's great.
It's a win-win.
It really is. I mean, we do so much work with wildlife friendly fencing and virtual fencing. I say it time and time again, it's the ultimate wildlife friendly fence, because there is no fence. It's great. No maintenance, no cost to put it in. I always like to remind people though, that perimeter fencing is always going to be there. It's never going to go away. We have to have it. Even with virtual fencing, it's so important. And no, we are not telling people to go rip down their fences. That's not what this is. This is just another tool to allow them to do additional things that will help them out and be better stewards of the land. Ranchers, as you mentioned, they are great stewards of the land. They work so hard because they care about the land, because they need it for their animals.
Absolutely.
Ranchers are the best stewards out there. And so we're working hard to just give them another tool to help them out.
Well, you and I were talking before we started this about the unseasonably weather we're having.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to see how this virtual fencing, if we don't get the moisture and we do slip back into a drought, how this virtual fencing will help to be able to utilize the feed better and make sure that they're getting as much, they're not just wandering off and leaving.
Yeah.
As cows do. They wander.
They can. Yeah.
And they forget to come back. But it'll really make them utilize everything in that spot before they move to the next pasture.
Yeah. And speaking with other ranchers across the state who've deployed this technology, one big thing they're doing is just that intensive rotational grazing, but then the longer rest periods. So many ranchers in this area already do that, But this virtual fencing is just another way to help them do it a little easier, manage it a little bit easier without excess labor of them going out there, rounding up the herd to push them to the next pasture. Just let technology do it for you.
Well, and, kids aren't staying home on the ranch anymore. And so a lot of times it's, an older rancher and his wife, and they don't have that help anymore.
Right.
So this cuts down for their just trying to find that help. And
absolutely.
I mean, it's a wonderful tool that I hope I would like to learn more about it, even though, we only have 25 cows, but
and I think that's the next step, right? Is this technology pencils out for the larger producer and even the medium-sized producer. This kind of next step that we are just now at the cusp of looking into is how can we deploy it for the smaller rancher of less than 50 head? Because it could help them out significantly, as we were talking about. And if Sheridan Community Land Trust can step in and find a way to help offset some of those initial costs to make it pencil out for that smaller producer, great. We want to do that. So we're working really hard. We partner a lot with Halter that does the virtual fence technology. They're based in Colorado. Well, their main headquarters are in New Zealand, but their U.S. headquarters are in Colorado. And they
darn it, have to go to New Zealand
right,
to learn about this.
Yeah.
Shoot.
They have just been wonderful to work with, and I talk to them weekly about this idea or that idea. And so in talking with them now, we're trying to figure out a way that it's almost like Sheridan Community Land Trust is a middleman working directly with the producers to get this technology deployed. More to come on that. We're really excited about it, and we'll sign you up first. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm close.
Yep, that's right.
We had, I had Galen Chase on here with the Wyoming Stock Growers a month or two ago, and we were talking about the average size farms and ranch have significantly gotten smaller over the years. Again, family ranches being sold off, not because they want to, but because they have to. More land being developed. And so now the average sized herd has gotten significantly smaller than it was. And there's a lot more of those small, medium producers than almost the large producers anymore.
That's right. Yeah. And we all know it's a razor thin margins, and anything that can help that bottom line is worth looking into.
Making plans for building a new barn, shop, or commercial building? Don't do any planning without a call to Sheridan's premier post-frame building and homes builder, True Built Builders, online at truebuiltbuilders.com.
Well, what else you got going on? Like you said, it's always busy out there. There's always stuff going on.
Man, there is so much. Just each and every day we do something new and exciting. We finished the main construction of our new Welcome Center out there at Big Goose Natural Area where our offices are. We are now starting to hang up all of our interpretive signs within that Welcome Center. Bruce has just done a fantastic job out there, really starting to develop some of these displays. It's going to be open to the public to come in and tour to learn more about history in the area, conservation, agriculture, recreation. Bruce being a former game warden, we have a giant moose head hanging there. We've nicknamed the moose Bruce the Moose.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. Skulls, pelts, furs, antlers, all sorts of things for kids to come play with, to learn about. Okay. We're all about learning, and so we'll be tackling so many things. We have a very cool conservation display that's going to go in, where we're going to be showing native plants. It's going to be a mural on the wall, native plants, and then their root structure. So many people just don't comprehend that the plant you see above ground is a small fraction of that entire mass. It's all underground, and that's why the roots and the soil health is so important. And so with our educational displays, we really want to teach people more about that and why soil health is so important. Ranchers work hard to keep the soil they have. We need to educate people who don't know about soil. So that's the next big thing. We hope to have wrapped up soon. We'll have a big unveiling when we get there, but we just keep plugging away, doing more and more. And like I said, 2026 is going to be a great year for us.
Well, good. Well, and I see that I did see an article that we had published on our website about looking, and maybe it was Bruce, I don't remember, who was looking for information on history around area history from ranchers and stuff. So I assume, is that part of what you guys want to put into your welcome center, is some more of that historical stuff?
Yeah. Bruce and then Kevin, who does all of our history, has just been there. We just try to collect things and share things and educate people. And so they are working hard to learn more about the history that's happened on all 3 of our properties.
Okay.
They want to know the stories. They want to hear from the families that lived there generations ago. The kids that used to go swimming in that creek, or used to chase the cow over that hill that always used to get away, whatever it may be. Bruce and Kevin are always looking forward to those stories so they can just capture that history, preserve it, and share it to future generations. Well,
the one thing I can tell you out on Big Goose is there used to be a whole lot of little dairies out there. In fact, your neighbor right next door, the West family, they had a dairy there, but there used to be several of those small little dairies up and down Big Goose that, cool. They went away over time. Yeah. But yeah, that used to be a big thing out there.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah. Who knew?
See, those are the type of stories
I've even got an old dairy stanchion still in our old barn that couldn't even tell you. That old barn's over 100 years old. I have no idea whose it was, but it's still in there.
Right.
Who knew?
Cool. Yeah.
So
wonderful.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? We'll wrap it up here before we lose power again. But I thank you for being here and look forward to having you again. There's always lots going on. When they love to come see the Welcome Center when it's open. Check everything out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Try to share some knowledge.
Perfect. We welcome it.
Well, John, thanks again. Look forward to having you back. And I want to thank our sponsors, Heartland Kubota and Truebuilt Builders. Without you guys, we couldn't be doing this. And for more news, sports, and podcasts, check out SheridanMedia.com.